and just want to take a moment to talk about the Robert Brooks case. So, for those of you who are aware, and I apologize for my appearance, we've had flu, pneumonia, and all kinds of illnesses going through the house, so I am severely under the weather. Um, pardon me. So, I wanted to talk about Robert Brooks. He is the inmate at the, let's see, which one was he at? At the Mohawk Detention Center that was beaten to death by the prison guards. The video, the surveillance footage has made the rounds on the internet, different angles, different aspects, and it's extremely, extremely disturbing to watch. There are parts of it that I really, literally couldn't watch. Um, it's just heartbreaking because you have literally a man who is being beaten profusely by at least five, maybe six prison guards, and you've got others just standing there watching. Where is the humanity that these men are supposed to have? And these are not young men that are prone to being impulsive. These are seasoned older men who have been in this job for some time. And they have, what is it? They have arrested, or they have 13 people that have either that are on leaves of absence without pay. This man died December 10th. We are now at January 1st. Why has there not been any arrests made in what happened with this prisoner? You know, and stories are now coming out about Robert Brooks, you know, about who he was as a person before he went into prison and what put him in prison. So let me talk a little bit about him. He was 43. He grew up in Rochester, New York, where his parents still live. Um, he attended Rochester City School District. He's described as a family man, loved the holidays, creating music with his son, and he liked nature. Great. And had been involved in the community organization his father runs, Mentors Inspiring Boys and Girls. Sounds like a real organization. So that's that. Now, why was he put there in the first place? So in April 2016, Brooks was charged with first-degree assault for stabbing his girlfriend in the chest, neck, and torso during an argument. Does not sound like a great person, but does not constitute him being beat to death. The woman lived. I'm glad to hear it. And did he deserve to go to prison? Yes. For that, he did. Definitely. He was given 12 years, and he was sent to the state prison in March of 2017. No one has identified the woman that he did this with, but he was eligible for parole release in July of 2026. So, and from what I'm reading here, really wasn't a bad prisoner or anything. Now, when he was at Mohawk, I'm sorry, he was serving a sentence at Mohawk and he was being transferred to Marcy. So let me get that straight. So the corrections officers that killed him were at Marcy, not at Mohawk. So he had been serving a sentence at the Mohawk Correctional Facility, which is a medium security prison in Oneida County. And they said the reason he was being sent to Marcy from Mohawk was for his own safety, because he had been assaulted by two different prisoners at his time at Mohawk. So they were getting him out of there because it looked like one assault took place in a cell where he was attacked, and the other one, he had been beaten with a lock and a sock, and he was struck in the head. So they got him out of there for his own safety. Why these prisoners were going after him, I don't know. Oh, hi. Hippie Longstocking, like it. Thank you for the Pippi Longstocking. So let me say this. I don't know what happened, to get those correctional officers to grab him and tie him up. Hello. Hi, everybody that's coming into the chat. I don't know. They had him literally hog-tied. That's where, the ankles and the feet are basically like tied together, and they were carrying him into the infirmary. Now, according to this article I'm reading, he supposedly bit one of the corrections officers. But when they get him in there, you see them, they're all kind of calm. They're getting him in there, they sit him on the gurney, and he's just sitting there. And then all of a sudden they just start hitting him. You see him taking rib shots, face shots. He's getting kicked in the groin. He's getting kicked in his genitals. You see where two officers sitting back up and they grab him by the neck and they lift him up by his neck and they slam him back down. And I'm just like, why? There is nothing he could have said. There is nothing he could have done to any of those men to warrant that kind of attack. There's just not. There's just not. Um, like I said, the video is out there all over the place. One of the officers, the officer that you see in the video that did most of the beating, has resigned, and sorry, cannot talk today. And they have released his name, a man by the name of Anthony Farina. The remaining 13 are suspended and are facing termination. Okay, yeah, they lose their job, fine. Where is the criminal charges? Where are the murder charges? Because what they did is murder, out and out murder. And I best believe that if you probably look into the history of any of these men, they probably have history of alcoholism, domestic violence. Any of these things are possible because you don't have that kind of hostility at a human being without being a hostile person yourself. You just don't. My late husband, and I've talked about him before on this channel, had a past. He had a past. He did some time in Ohio, and when he was young. He was 19 when he got sent away, and it was for robbery. And did like 4 years. And when we talked about it, I didn't know him during that time. It was after, but we talked about it. And he had said there were certain guards you didn't mess with. There were certain guards that went out of their way to make things difficult for prisoners. He even said the infirmary was a place you did not want to go. He said, because there's not a guarantee you come out alive. So, and what kills me is the state attorney general for New York has come out and made a statement about how they're going to do all these cameras and they're going to do all these things. And you've got the cameras. Prison guards are wearing the cameras, and some of them had turned them off, or they put them in standby mode, so they're doing all video but no audio. So you don't even know what the conversation is between these guys or between them and Robert Brooks. As is he screaming? Is he crying? Is he begging for his life? And the thing that got me the most is while they're beating down this man, there's a guy, a corrections officer, right next to the bed, just writing notes. Like nothing is happening on this side. Nothing. Right? Yes, I saw the video. It's all over the internet. All the surveillance video is out there. So yes, I did see all this go down in the video. And you see it from the get-go. You see where they get him up against a fence when they get him out of the transport vehicle and they start tying him up and then bringing him in. You see them bring him down the hallway. You see them bring him into the infirmary, put him on the gurney, and then the beating ensues. So you see all these things. If Robert Brooks, granted, yes, he tried to kill someone. Didn't say he was a great person. If he deserved the death penalty, the jury would have given him the death penalty because you know what? New York has the death penalty. But guess what happened? He didn't get the death penalty. He got 16 years in prison or 12 years in prison. So These corrections officers are not judge, jury, and execution. They're not. They are there to maintain law and order. They are there to maintain and keep chaos from happening. That is their job. Their job is to protect the inmates from each other. That is their job. Not to beat, not to humiliate, not to destroy, not to kill, not to. These are not things that they are supposed to be doing. And the other thing, the optics of this doesn't look good because every single one of those prison guards was white and Robert Brooks is black. So could this be considered a hate crime? I don't know. Department of Justice is looking into it, but I dare say that they need to hand down charges to every single one of these people and anybody who watched and stood by and did nothing. Every single one of them need to be charged. I think Anthony Farina, the one who resigned, I think he needs to be charged with murder. At least him. Because he was doing most of the damage. They damn near broke that man's neck. He was handcuffed. His ankles were tied together. He couldn't even defend himself if he wanted to. And that right there is a travesty. I would understand, and this, again, don't take this as anything, but I would understand if it was one prison guard and Robert Brooks and they get into an altercation. That happens. Okay. But when you've got an inmate with his ankles bound and he's handcuffed and you're beating him and he can't defend himself and there's 14 of you around and like 6 of you beating him, what on earth? What on earth? Because then here's what happens. These things happen in the prisons. And then you have officers who get killed in the line of duty. And then you have people who are making comments saying, well, these cops deserve it. Cops are killers. Everybody's a human being. Nobody deserves to be executed and murdered, no matter what. Well, if you're a child killer, you know, I stand on that one. But we are not judge, jury, and executioner. We are not anarchists. We are not, this is not the purge, you know? And until that goes into effect, people need to behave, you know, and follow the rules. This is why we have rules. Follow the damn rules. You know? It's a sad situation. I feel for his family. Because now they went to a holiday knowing that he's never going to come home. You know? Did he only deserve 12 years? That I don't know. I can't speak to that case. You know what, you know, he and his girlfriend had an argument, he stabbed her. You know, I think that's a bit of an overreaction on his end. But as I said before, nobody deserves to be killed. Not like that. Like I said, if he was supposed to get the death penalty, that is something that is offered or that they have in New York. That is something up for the judge and the jury to decide when he went to court. Not for the corrections officers there at Mercy to enact on them on their own. So I'm calling out to all the lawmakers in New York. You need to charge these people. Charge them fully. They are no different than any other human being who would have done the same darn thing. They're not above the law. They're not. No one is. No one is. And you need to do better to get better people in there. Because the whole point of prison is to lock up the bad, but also to rehab those that are in there that are rehabitable. People who are able to learn from their mistakes and be better products of society when they get out. How's that going to happen if you've got prison guards beating up people in prison and treating them horribly? You can't do that. That's not helping anybody. It's not. It's creating more sociopaths, if you want my honest opinion. That is what happens there. including animals and Earth. Yeah, it does. So, but that is my diatribe on that. Looks like we've got some more updated news on the New Orleans. They're calling it a terrorist attack. A person in a truck drove through the barricades on Bourbon Street at 3 o'clock this morning and has killed 10 people and injured 30 others so far. 2 officers were shot because he got out of the car with combat gear and just started shooting at people. So they're now saying it's a terrorist attack. They've got Bourbon Street and Canal Street all blocked off down there in New Orleans because they're investigating. The FBI is involved. Apparently, they're sweeping the Superdome for incendiary devices because they found some that were unexploded in or around Bourbon Street. And no one knows who this guy is, but it looks like we just got an update on that. So I will be back once I read that, and I will give you all that update. But this is concluding of the live I'm doing today. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Please investigate this case yourself. Robert L. Brooks. Look at the videos, make your own opinion. I feel those people who are involved need all to be charged. And if not, a few of them need to have, charged with murder. That's my honest opinion. So have a wonderful New Year's Day. Here's to a better 2025, and you all have a great day.